Tobias Ellwood joins us, Conservative MP for Bournemouth East. He's a former Defence Minister and former British Army officer. Tobias, what do you make of these developments?
Yes, interesting analysis you've just been providing. I very much welcome this decision. I mean, and events are unfolding very fast indeed in the Middle East. The risk of escalation is certainly high and tensions are mounting, but that should never prevent us from standing firm. Otherwise, timidity or hesitance is exploited. And I was worried a little bit that we might have been raising the bar from what Grant Shapps has been saying over the last couple of days, and then we would blink, as we did back in 2013, which in fact you were just alluding to, when there indeed was a vote in Parliament which went the wrong way. It's absolutely right. I agree with you 100% that the executive, that the cabinet and the Prime Minister makes this decision because of the existing threat that there is today. International shipping has been targeted. It's been disrupted for 3 weeks now across the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, the southwest of Yemen. This is a bottleneck 20 miles wide where container ships have been forced to go reroute around Africa. And the consequence of that has been that the political masters behind the Houthis, have had no intention whatsoever of abiding by UN Security Council resolution, the recent one, 2722, to honour safe passage to international waters. It's absolutely right that we're forming what I think will be a larger international coalition to actually defend safe passage and take out those silos, those missile silos at source, not just when they're airborne as well. I suspect, if I may add, a lot of diplomacy is now taking place behind the scenes to assure Arab nations and others that this isn't part of any form of escalation or taking sides whatsoever, but it's all about defending the global order, defending international norms, and defending international trade in international waters.
But why should Britain be involved in this?
Because this is what we do. This is who we are as a nation. We are a P5 member of the United Nations Security Council. We have the hard power, the soft power, the inclination, the determination to lead. Other nations hesitate. That's not who we are. We stand up with the United States in standing up for what we believe in. We've not done it enough, I have to say, over the last decade. And it's in fact this complacency that Iran has taken advantage of. Its proxy influence across the Middle East. So I very much welcome, finally, that we are, when the Houthis are testing us even further, pushing the envelope, that we are standing firm.
But as you know, there will be many people, and I suspect some of them are already phoning into the programme, who are saying, have we not learnt the lessons from the past, particularly with military involvement in the Middle East? Why does Britain have to be involved? France doesn't seem to be involved. Italy, Spain, all sorts of other countries aren't involved. Why us?
Just like in the past, I suspect all those nations that you just mentioned will start to be joining and collaborating with this international alliance. Why us? Because it's already affecting our economy. Every one of those ships, those container ships, those oil and gas ships that have to reroute around Africa, adding another 40 days, affects our economy. And this is perhaps what we need to understand, is how when the Middle East is being reshaped because of events in the wrong direction, it affects our economy, not just our security as well. And it requires strong nations such as us to step forward. And that's finally what we're doing.
Could this not result, though, in, I mean, I don't know, I hesitate to even suggest this, but could it not result in terror attacks on the streets of Britain? We've got the leader of the Houthis, Abdul Malik al-Houthi. He's effectively promising fire and brimstone if Britain and America go down this road.
Well, as you heard from the contributor from the Atlantic Council, this is a terrorist organization that has actually pushed through and overtaken Yemen. They shouldn't even be there in that country in the sense that of running it. There are participants in that nation, but they certainly shouldn't be dominating the Red Sea in the way that they're doing, supported by Iran, which, as I say, wants to continue its proxy influence in the region. We've allowed this to go on for too long. And finally, we're now recognizing that we need to stand up. There is a 1939 feel to this, I'm afraid, of where we can, as perhaps you're implying, as some of your listeners might be suggesting, this has nothing to do with us. Let's back away. But then which country might stand up? And where does this go? How far will our timidity, our risk averseness be exploited? Where does this go to next? It's absolutely right that we put this fire out early before it escalates in the wrong way.
Tobias, thank you for joining us at such short notice. That's Tobias Ellwood, Conservative MP for Bournemouth East, of course, former Defence Minister and former British Army officer.